God, the all-powerful, all-knowing, and ever-present deity of the Hebrew Bible, has a side that is both shocking and deeply human. Imagine a deity who, despite his omnipotence, seems to discover himself as he goes along, learning about his own nature and emotions. This divine figure, who in the early books of the Bible is a distant, almost mechanical entity, gradually transforms into a being who is intimately aware of human pain and capable of profound love. This journey, chronicled primarily in the book of Isaiah, is nothing short of revolutionary. It challenges our understanding of God and raises a profound question. Does God find himself strange? The God of the early Hebrew Bible is a formidable and often fearsome figure. In the opening chapters of Genesis, God is depicted as a creator who acts with a blind self-confidence. Much like a sleepwalker, he creates the world and all its inhabitants. But there is little indication that he is introspective or self-aware. He does not question his actions or motives. He simply does what he does. This God is more of a cosmic architect, a being of immense power and precision, but lacking in emotional depth. As the narrative progresses, however, God begins to encounter obstacles and challenges. The fall of Adam and Eve, the flood, and the Tower of Babel are all moments where God collides with human disobedience and the complexity of his creation. These events force God to reflect on his own intentions and actions. He begins to realize that his creation is not a simple, predictable machine, but a dynamic and unpredictable world filled with beings capable of free will and choice. This realization is a crucial turning point in God's self-discovery. One of the most significant moments in this transformation occurs in the book of Isaiah. Here, God begins to articulate a new understanding of himself. In Isaiah chapter 41, verses 4, God says, "Who has performed and done this, calling the generations from the beginning? I, the Lord, the first, and with the last, I am he." This statement is remarkable because it suggests that God is claiming a past and future simultaneity of knowledge, a kind of omniscience. However, the paradox is that this superhuman mental ability seems to be something God has learned about himself, not something he has always known. This self-awareness is further emphasized in Isaiah 40, where God's voice takes on a new, tender tone. The opening lines, "Comfort, comfort my people, says your God," are striking because they mark a significant departure from God's previous character. God, who has never before spoken of comfort, now speaks of it with a depth of emotion that is both new and shocking. This shift in tone is not just a change in rhetoric. It is a reflection of a deeper emotional transformation in God. The passage continues with a series of rhetorical questions that highlight God's immense power and knowledge. Who has measured the waters in the hollow of his hand and marked off the heavens with a span, enclosed the dust of the earth in a measure, and weighed the mountains in scales and the hills in a balance? These questions serve to underline the fact that the tender, comforting words of God are backed by an overwhelming divine power. This juxtaposition of tenderness and power is what makes God's new character so mysterious and enigmatic. The book of Isaiah also introduces the idea that God is intimately aware of human pain and suffering. In Isaiah chapter 40, verses 29 to 31, God says, "He gives power to the faint, and to him who has no might he increases strength. Even youths shall faint and be weary, and young men shall fall exhausted. But they who wait for the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings like eagles. They shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and not faint." This passage is significant because it shows that God is not only powerful, but also compassionate. He is aware of the struggles and weaknesses of his people, and offers them strength and comfort. This new understanding of God as a being who is both powerful and compassionate is a defining incongruity that has shaped the Western understanding of God. The idea that God is both transcendent and immanent, both distant and close, both judge and comforter, is a paradox that has puzzled and inspired believers for centuries. This duality is what makes God mysterious and awe-inspiring. The transformation of God in the book of Isaiah is not just a change in character. It is a reflection of God's growing awareness of his own nature. God begins to recognize how different he is from both the false gods of other religions and from human beings. He is different because he is real, and the false gods are not. He is also different because, unlike humans who love, he has not loved until now. This realization is a momentous one, and it leads to a new self-perception that is both mysterious and intimate. The idea that God can be both mysterious and intimate is a profound one. It challenges the notion that God is a distant, unapproachable being. Instead, it suggests that God is deeply involved in the lives of his people, aware of their fears and sorrows, and capable of offering comfort and strength. This new understanding of God is not just a theological abstraction. It has practical implications for how people relate to God and to each other. In the book of Isaiah, God's new character is not just a change in how he is perceived. It is a change in how he acts. God is no longer content to be a distant, impersonal deity. He becomes a God who is actively involved in the lives of his people, offering comfort and strength, and seeking to heal the brokenness of the world. This new God is a God of love, a God who is intimately involved in the human experience. The transformation of God in the book of Isaiah is a powerful reminder that God is not a static, unchanging being. God is a dynamic, evolving entity who is always growing and discovering himself. This idea is both shocking and comforting. It suggests that God is not a distant, unapproachable figure, but a being who is deeply involved in the world and in the lives of his people. It also suggests that God's love and compassion are not just abstract concepts, but are real and tangible. In the end, the question of whether God finds himself strange is a profound one. It challenges our understanding of God and invites us to reflect on the nature of divinity. The God of the Hebrew Bible is a complex and multifaceted being who is always growing and discovering himself. This God is both mysterious and intimate, both powerful and compassionate. This God is a God of love, a God who is deeply involved in the world and in the lives of his people. And in this, God is both shocking and beautiful. In conclusion, the God of the Hebrew Bible, as revealed in the book of Isaiah, is a God who is both mysterious and intimate, a God who is always growing and discovering himself. This transformation is a powerful reminder of the dynamic and evolving nature of God, and it invites us to reflect on the profound and beautiful mystery of divine love.